Hello, everybody. We are live. So, I am just going to go over a few housekeeping tips. Since we are with StreamYard today, if you are joining us in the comments below, would you please type in hashtag live, or if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And above, you will see there's a banner that says StreamYard. Click on that so that you can give permission to StreamYard to use your name. Otherwise, if you want to join us in the conversation, you will come across as Facebook user, and we certainly would love to, interact with you. Also, if you just want to comment or react, then send us some hearts because we love hearts. So, as you know, every Thursday I have an interview with a special guest, an awesome guest always. And I can't tell you how awesome our guest is today. We were a little bit late starting because my guest is from India originally, and they are celebrating a wonderful celebration called Diwali. And so we'll ask her a little bit about that. And so we were waiting for Priyanka to come and join us, and she has joined us. Now, as you know, I'm coming in from Mexico. My guest today is coming in from the USA. And you know what? Let's just bring my guest right in. Hi, Priyanka. How are you today? And happy celebration to you.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit. It could be louder, but I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just going to. Sometimes when we're like, can you hear me now? Better?
A little better, yes.
A
Uh-huh.
little better. Okay, maybe I can have my headphones on. Just want to make sure we are all good because, as I said, I'm a new setting at my family's place. So that's why it's just getting.
There's a little bit of an echo, and I don't know if you have earphones. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let me get my earphones on. Is that okay there?
I don't know. I'm not very techy, so you're asking the wrong person, but we try it.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Oh, so much better now. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, let's
Well,
just do this.
yeah, I want to, such a big celebration. Everything's happening in India. I'm so excited because I'm going to India in a week, and we'll
Oh,
and we'll
exciting.
and we'll touch upon that. But you are in the United States, and of course you are, of Indian origin, and you're celebrating a big celebration. Could you tell us a little bit about Diwali, what it's all about?
Yeah, so Diwali is all about festival of lights, Lucy. But
Uh-huh.
I think for most importantly for me, because I'm in US and I have a little one who's a 5-year-old and we have family around, I think it's for us, it's mostly about bringing all our own memories of
Yes.
raising up in India, like growing up in India, and like bringing those memories so that our kids can really live those festivals the way we celebrated it when we were growing up, and bringing parts of it. It's different when you are in India and celebrating it because everyone around you is celebrating. So in here it's mostly like we have a lot of different parties with our friends and family every day. It's a 5 days celebration, and all the 5 days we are lighting diyas, like lamps in our home to welcome the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, to our home. She brings prosperity, and we also make small designs outside the home. So my little one, 5-year-old daughter Anvika, made some of those designs, just decorating our house with flowers and making a lot of Diwali snacks at home. I think that's also one of the experience I had growing up, and we are trying to have it for our daughter. So making all the sweets and snacks, and then sharing it with all our friends. So
Right.
um,
Now
yeah,
you
so we it's like Christmas, right? Where you
It's a
make
little bit
cookies.
like Christmas, right? You mentioned
Yeah.
that it's a 5-day celebration. So what day are we in for you right now? Is it the
So
second day?
yesterday was the fifth day,
Okay.
and every day had a different what do you call theme.
Theme?
Yeah. So yesterday was the Bhau Beach, which is a celebration between brothers and sisters. So we actually came to my sister-in-law place, and for my daughter, it's mostly like, okay, like we have to celebrate this and we give gifts.
Right.
So yeah, so it's so yesterday is the celebration of bondage between sister and brothers, and then day before that, so one day is like you're supposed to wake up like at sunrise. If you don't wake up like before the sunrise, you will go to hell, not heaven or something.
Oh my
So
Lord.
so one day is all about celebrating the buffaloes, celebrating the cow herders. So I got a video from my grandparents' home because they're farmers back in India,
Mhm.
and then they decorate all their cows and buffaloes in these beautiful flowers, and like
Oh
they
wow.
worship them. um, One day is all about welcoming the goddess Lakshmi. So it's all about what do you call, celebrating and worshiping her. One day is Dhanteras, so that's the day mostly Indians will buy gold back in India,
Oh, wow.
because buying gold is looked at as an investment. So it's actually when you have bad times going on, like you have something back there to help you
Mhm.
to
Right.
sustain. So we have one day, it's called Dhanteras, which is all about buying gold.
Wow.
So yeah, this, and then we also will bring all our gold from whatever we have bought, and then we will worship it too, so that we can. It's not only wealth in terms of money, but also wealth in terms of in our hearts for others and
Right.
prosperity, and
It's
yeah.
prosperity. It sounds like it's a feast of prosperity more than anything else. That's what.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, totally.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, I was trying to like get connected to their internet and all that fun stuff which
Well,
happens. That's why I got a little bit late. So sorry about that,
no,
everyone.
that's
If you
okay because I was just gonna go on and talk until you came on, and I just want to thank you so much because I know that this has taken time away from your family and it's valuable time. So I
you are
you know
like my family, Lucy.
thank you, thank you.
We have known each other for so long. It's like
I
you're like
know.
my family.
I know, it's absolutely true. This is the second time that I'm interviewing you. And, I
Mhm.
have been following you very closely ever since we met. We met in 2019 when we both got into the KBB, if you remember. And,
Yeah.
there you are, the engineer turned entrepreneur, and I'm the educator turned entrepreneur. And so let's talk a little bit about you. You live in Oregon, right? In the US.
Yes, yes. I think when I started, when we met, that time I was in Michigan, but last year I moved to Oregon. Yes.
Okay, now why Oregon? I'm always very curious why people go to certain states in the United States. I mean, I understand Oregon, and you're in Portland, if I understand it correctly. It is a beautiful state, but what brought you there?
I would say we were in Michigan since we landed in Michigan 2008
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
15 years. And we are like, okay, we have to find new places to explore now. We have seen everything in Michigan and all the neighboring state. And actually, as I said, my sister-in-law lives in Oregon. And then our very close friends also moved from Michigan to Oregon. And then we are like, okay, let's Oregon. And we both went remote because we used to both work in
right.
like my husband still works in corporate, but we were in manufacturing plant. So very much you have to go inside the plant. And I left my full-time job as engineer and we both went remote. So we're like, okay, now we can go anywhere in the world. I would love to, Lucy, like you, like just travel all over the world. I would love to do that. Like it was my dream to be a nomadic, but it's not possible once you have kids and their school. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, regardless, let's go to a place where all the tourists normally go. Oregon is one of the places. So I'm like, I will be still like traveling around and exploring places, and there's so much to still explore. And I love tall trees. I love those redwood trees and all those beautiful trees.
I
So it
know, it's
has
so
beautiful
gorgeous.
scenery. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was shocked though that Pacific Ocean is cold. I was thinking it will be like Florida or it will be like California. So yeah, that dream got shattered. Like it is so chilly. Like I went in like
It's
mini
cool.
skirt. Yeah, I went in like mini skirt to Pacific Ocean, and they're like all this like even my little one was like dressed up in swimming dress and all that. And then we are like buying their hoodies.
Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right. The Pacific Ocean is bloody cold as far as I'm concerned.
Totally.
It's so good to hear you, and I love to hear you laugh. It's just you've come such a long way. When we met in 2019, we met doing the KBB program, and I just remember that you were like the trailblazer then. You just took leadership of all the KBBers. And do you remember that you had 10 groups that you were
Yeah.
going to manage, and we were all going to be successful? And then I was in number one group, and we were dedicated. We were doing what you wanted us to
Yeah.
do. And then all of a sudden you were going to do a mastermind, but I think instead you became a mastermind coach and trainer for Tony and Dean, right?
Yeah, I'm still part of that,
Are
and
you?
it's very like it's like 10% of what I do,
Yeah,
Lucy, but I just love the community. I want to stay inside it.
right.
Because my ideal client is mostly CEOs who are at 250K per year,
Okay.
because I work with them on operations. But interestingly, that managing those 10 groups, Lucy, actually was my what you call cornerstone of like realizing that I'm good at operations and project management.
You were
And
so good at it. I was
so
unbelievable.
that was interesting. Someone actually approached me, "Hey, Priyanka, can we partner up? You can do all the project management." And that was my indication, or like God's what you call gift to me, telling me, "Hey, you should go in this path." And I do come from experience as an engineer with operations. I just had to apply it for small businesses, and doing that 10 different masterminds from like how many 8 different time zones from all around the world, people plugging in, and it was all free. And we did it for like 6 months. I was partnering with all the amazing entrepreneurs, like we were like 50 of us I was helping. And
It was unbelievable. Yeah.
it was unbelievable. There was no what you call uh I of course I wanted a transformation for everyone in there,
Right.
but for me it was like realizing I'm so good at it that I started my path as a being a director of operation or chief operating officer for small business, especially women entrepreneurs.
Right. And that's, goes to show you that the universe, if we're open to the universe, how it just leads us down that path. And people come in and almost take us by the hand and say, let's go. It's
Yes.
unbelievable. But ever since, I mean, since that day, you've done so much. I mean, you're now a co-author of a book called Wings of a Woman, and we'll talk about that. But I remember the last time we talked, that I interviewed you, you were wanting to start a podcast. And not only
Mm-hmm.
did you start that podcast, but you are host of the top 100 globally in entrepreneurship category in multiple countries. Unbelievable. How do you feel about that?
It feels amazing. It
Mhm.
feels for Lucy. So interestingly, I remember my first episode. Right now, I'm I think on 120 episode. I have been doing it for two
Congratulations.
years. But yeah, I remember the first episode I did. I was like really like shivering. I was like I had all these questions to ask, and now it's like so natural.
Yeah.
I just go in. I just have a flow because I feel it's all about flow and where you are going. Let the conversation go there, and I learn every time from my guest, and my guests are actually amazing people. They're beautiful human, very intentional, authentic leader, and that's what my podcast is about. But it's interesting, like it's actually top 1% globally, Lucy, out of 2 million podcasts in the world.
Wow.
So, and podcasts are growing. I feel like everyone should have a podcast. It's an
Yeah.
evergreen like a YouTube. So, I recommend you, if you don't feel like you should have a podcast, that means you need to have a podcast.
Well, not only did you influence me, but there were several people at that time that were looking into podcasts because they were the thing. And I
Hmm.
heard Dean Graciosi say last week, I am going to do a podcast and I'm going to do my marketing on the podcast. I'm going, wow,
Hmm.
oh my God. Okay. Yes, absolutely. In fact, I've had that in the back of my mind. And, that's all you need is that little thought. Don't you
Yeah,
agree?
and I think Lucy, you have been doing all these interviews, so just upload them in podcast form, like audio form.
Well, you're absolutely right. One of the favorite things for me to do is to interview people. I love people's stories, and I just get so excited for people, and just want to tell their stories to everybody. And so let's talk a little bit about your story, because you love to create leaders, don't you?
Yes, totally.
But you know what? I have a feeling that there's a leader in each one of us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and I love this book from Robin Sharma, and that was a book I read back in probably 2015 or 16. And it
Mhm.
says that leader without a title, like you are a leader without a title. You don't have to look for a title to be a leader. We are leader for our kids. We are leader in our homes for our spouses. We are
Right.
leader to our friends around because we all are leading in some way, some area. So we just have to get curious. Where are we leading?
Where are
And I
we?
think and if we are leading, are we taking the responsibility? Because even responsibility, if you break it down, it's responsible. Are you taking responsibility for every action or every impact you will have on others' lives? Are you creating an atmosphere where people want to follow you rather than need to follow you? So I think leadership is so important to me, and I have been embodying intentional, energetic presence leadership since my corporate days. I was always in male dominated corporate setting. So I actually embodied my whole piece, like my empathetic leadership, my transformational leadership, intentional, energetic presence leadership. And because of that, I always was over delivering everywhere I will go because I was connecting with humans, like
Yeah.
relationship, building relationships. And um, you,
You
that's
were.
why, like, yeah,
It's unbelievable because you were doing naturally what Dean and Tony tells us to do. I mean, now the program KBB has become the Project Next, and my team and I, and Mike, because we were all part of the
yes,
KBB at the time, and Mike and I have formed a team, and we have these wonderful people who just know that they're great. They're meant for something greater in life, and they're taking their expertise and their experience just like you did. And
hmm,
some of them are creating or launching their business for the first time. They're they're leading, just like you said. We are a leader in some form or another. And so what message do you have for that person who is nervous? You remember how it was when we started with KBB. Can you go back and remember how nervous you were, and what advice would you have liked to have heard back then?
yeah, I think I'm still nervous whenever I'm taking a new thing, like exploring new things. And as an entrepreneur, we just developed this muscle of ours, which is called resiliency and being perseverance and knowing that we are going into places where it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be hard, there's going to be so much pain that you want to quit. But going back and remembering those times when you have taken those hard actions, you
Right.
have been through those hard things. So this is not hard what you're going through right now, but it's going to actually help you in the next 6 months to really reflect back, because normally when you take an action it takes 6 months to like really realize its outcome.
Oh,
So I would say if you're nervous right now, one of the things I go back to is making sure, am I taking care of myself? Because self-care is a leadership skill. And if you are full, if you are taking care of yourself, you are taking time for taking pauses in between, like not rushing through things, like hustle and grind. People say you can do hustle and grind, but if you are a person who likes to be grounded, where all the inspiration and creativity comes, which makes you feel calmer, if there are any experiences, or maybe having some your favorite food, favorite drink, or uh, going around with people, taking a walk in the nature, whatever will help you, because I think every one of us have a unique way of recharging, relaxing. So I think finding those ways and bringing those into your life when you're nervous. So when I am nervous, I write a lot,
do
Lucy.
you?
I bring all my emotions into my paper. I cry a lot too, because I feel like um sometimes people say like, hey, think about why, think about why, but it's so hard to think about why, because your why can change, right?
It
But
does. It does change.
so I think the question you have to ask is, what makes you cry
What
is
makes
your why. So if there's something in your life right now which makes you cry, you really want it, but you know the struggle which you're having right now is like is going to take you to that level where you can really realize that, like whether it's like spending time with my daughter and doing a world travel, right? For
Mhm.
that I need space. Right now I don't have that space in my life because in the creation mode, I'm in the growing stage mode. I'm training my team, so once they are trained, they're able to do things, then I probably can relax and take back my, like, have that time freedom and create time freedom, right? Because I think freedom is the thing we start our business with, right? But and then you realize after like working, you're like, there's no freedom here. But then you have to create. Freedom is there. You have to create. You have to create your lifestyle in such a way that freedom is there. You have to bring in team members who will help you with some of the pieces so that you can take some time back to really live those lifestyle goals or the time freedom you're really aspiring to do. That's why you started the entrepreneurship. So hopefully that helped, Lucy, a little bit.
And I think so. It's a big help because we are a team. We're there for them. They know we are, and very often they're reluctant, to kind of lean on us, And so even though we're there for you, just lean on us, and
Yeah.
it's really an unbelievable situation when you're a new entrepreneur because there's so much that you have to deal with your life. Like you say, you have to remember to take care of yourself. You have to I personally have to make sure that I have some white space in my agenda. I'm always looking for that white space in my agenda because I have a tendency to and I have to learn how to say no because I have a tendency to say yes and yes and yes, and then that's not quite taking care of myself. So thank you for that input. That's really, really important. There's something else I want to talk to you about because I am going to India. And
Mhm.
and I'm going to India because I'm celebrating one of our students' awesome project, but I know that for a fact that growing up in India as a woman who is a trailblazer and who is creative, it's not an easy place to grow up. Can you talk a little bit about how it was for you growing up in? Did you grow up in Mumbai?
Yes, I did.
So yeah, because you studied there, you got your Bachelor of Electronics. I mean, how often do women get a Bachelor of Electronics Engineering? And you got it from the University of Mumbai. You did things even back then, that were so, not what women do.
Mhm.
Where did you get that, drive?
I would say my parents. My dad is an engineer. He's an MBA. He's a finance, in finance and like all this. So, and I'm always surrounded with it. Like I always was surrounded with engineers, scientists, doctors,
Okay.
growing up, and I'm always been part of extracurricular activities, dancing, singing. I'm a professional singer,
Right.
dancer. Um, I was doing all kind of things like sports, everything in my growing years. So I would say it's just the surrounding, Lucy, for me. Like if you
Okay.
like my surrounding actually and my parents actually helped me to like be the person I am today. Of
Mhm.
course, like the people pleasing part comes because it's very much ingrained in Asian culture. Like as a woman, you're like you have to keep your voice down. You can't like really so for me, podcast was a way to find my voice in some way, which I
Mhm.
have been like even in my engineering days, even working in corporate in America, like I felt like all these experiences like really opened me up in many ways. If I would have stayed in India, it would have been different. Like I probably would have not have a life like this or create this
Right.
amazing impact that I'm able to create today with my work. And all the amazing awareness I have about myself, because sometimes it's amazing the capacity we have, which each of us have, right?
Right.
So growing back in India, I would say like my parents and my surrounding, my friends, my uncle, aunts, like they all helped me to like be the person I am today. I never had difficulty, and my dad is a avid, what do you call, traveler,
Okay.
Lucy.
Yeah.
So growing up, I traveled all around India with my parents,
Wonderful.
and we have stayed in like temples. We have stayed in like anywhere. If we don't get a hotel, we just stayed in anywhere, like in the truck, in the like the what do you call the floor of the temples, like because so my dad gave me all these different kind of experiences, which homeless will have, which like he's like you
Experience.
have to survive. You need to
Yeah.
learn how to survive things when you have limited resources, when you don't have anything in your life, when you don't have all this amazing clothes, car, all this luxury that we have right now. But like so I have gone through all those experiences, so I can survive any part of the world with anything.
Well, that's wonderful. And I'm thinking, boy, I'm arriving early in the morning. I may have to go to a temple and just relax before I can go.
Where
But
you are going? Which part of India, Lucy?
well, we're going to Mumbai. We're all going to land in Mumbai, and then we are being taken to Prune because Shika Khanna, who is our
Mm-hmm.
client and who is the co-producer, co-creator of 100 portraits and 100 dreams, and it's all about interviewing moms. So she's bringing us all to Prüm. She has rented a golf resort and bringing us there.
Wow, that's
Bringing
so
us there.
fun.
And I know, and she's going to launch her book. All right, because there's a coffee table book that's going with this. But more than anything, this has become such a movement, Priyanka. I mean, I don't know about Indian women. They're so strong. They are trailblazers. You take them out of their environment, and boy, they go. And she, like you, her dad, never said no to her, and just was very instrumental in who she is today. And she even received a letter from your prime minister.
That's amazing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm so impressed. I
I
was talking to Shikha. Thank
mean,
you, Lucy, for connecting us. Yeah, so amazing. Congratulations, Lucy. Like you are going to have lifetime of experience. It's very
I
different. Like
know.
India is very diverse. The colors, the people, the cuisine. Make sure you don't start eating on the like all the vendors, like road vendors.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I mean, I live
Yeah,
in Mexico, so I know.
yeah, just be careful with because I want it to be an amazing experience for you. The time you are there, you don't get sick.
No, I
You
won't.
just
And I won't put it in my mind. Whatever's there. I'm not going to ever focus on that. But thank you for that input. I want to get back to you. And what made you? Was it important for you to come and do your master's in the USA because not only did you have a bachelor of electronics, but you mastered in industrial engineering and management, and look
yeah.
how it's serving you today. And
Mhm.
that's how you ended up in Michigan, right?
Yeah, interestingly, so I was like, I did not want to get an IT job because I was coming from electronics
Right.
background. So there are like lot of engineers back there, like all my friends, like they studied with me electronics engineering. So my husband and I, we both were together, did bachelors together. We fell in love during our bachelors, and we're together since then. We both came to do our masters to US. We were not married that time, we were just dating. But it's interesting. I was like, I don't want any IT job. I want to like really do the specific like electronics engineering, which is like
Right.
chip manufacturing and all the other designing of all the like you all those motherboards behind your computer. So
Right.
I was like, I'm more excited about that. And then I was like, and then my husband also was applying, like we were dating that time. So we were like, okay, this will be a good part for us to like learn new ways, and we changed our field, which was interesting. So we went into, oh my god, you're having some,
What
can you
happened?
see me? I don't
Yeah,
know, like there was this blinking going on, some
I
disco
see.
lights.
No, yeah. It could be the glare of my glasses because every time I have to wear glasses, I always have this glare. I can't get. I wish
Oh, okay.
could figure that out for me. No, I'm
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me it was like either I have an option to do an IT job, which I was not excited about in India, or else
Mm.
go for my higher studies and do something different. So we went into more mechanical engineering, and we came to Michigan because Michigan is called as the automotive
Yeah.
state
Exactly. Yeah.
because it has GM, it has all these amazing big threes,
Right.
car manufacturing plant, and Michigan was the place. We applied to 10 university and we got accepted from like 3 or 4 university, and Michigan was the one we chose because the standard of living was less costlier there. The city we studied, because we had to make sure, like coming from India, we did not had any idea about cost of living, but when we
Right.
compared, like Michigan has lower cost where we were going to go.
And New
So
York City, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, even we got from NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. We also got acceptance from there, but we did not opt for that because it was going to be expensive cost of living.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it was great. It was great. We when we were doing masters, we were earning like $600 per month,
Yeah,
like
but
during all the tutoring for the undergrad in the university, like we were like, and we managed it. We managed with the $600 per month. We managed our whole 2 years of masters of engineering.
well, that's great. But at least you were together. How wonderful was that? You know,
Yes,
oh
I
wow.
had some support. I had my husband's support and that time boyfriend. But yeah, it can be lonely. It can be hard for someone coming first
And,
time.
and then you went right into the workforce, right? I mean, so did you take out your green card, or I'm asking you that because I was a Canadian, and when I went to the U.S., I had to get a green card, and of course, back when I did it, they called us aliens. They they
It's
soon,
actually written on that card.
and so did you both? Is that what you did? You applied for?
We still don't have green card.
Oh, you still don't have a green card.
I think
Oh,
the visa is always such a big pain.
it must
It's
be,
such, it's especially for Indians because there are so many Indians and so many applies. So
especially.
yeah, we came on student visa,
Okay.
and that student visa turned into a work visa. On work visa, you can't do business, so I went on my as a dependent visa on my husband's work visa. So now I can do a business. So that's a good thing. So yeah, it has been amazing the whole visa, and but we still don't have green card. It will take ages.
Oh, I know because I tried to get one for my sister. It was 10 years, and then 2 years later, she passed away. But we worked so hard. But that's beside the point. You went into the workforce for like 12 years, didn't you? I mean, you worked for Volkswagen, if I remember, John Deere. I mean, and you became director of operations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. I worked for like 12 years in corporate, and
Mhm.
I worked with amazing like I enriched every part of my work, like working in corporate America. I enjoyed every part of it. It has made me who I am today. And yes, I worked with Toyota, Hyundai, John Deere, Volkswagen, car manufacturing, truck manufacturing, clothes manufacturing. It's just amazing. Furniture manufacturing. But yeah,
Just everything that would give you the experience, right? Is
yes,
the
it's amazing. I truly enjoyed. I still have I never burn bridges. I always keep relationships strong with everyone from my corporate world too. I will send them Christmas wishes to my bosses still. I will do
wonderful.
that every year, even if I'm not working in corporate. Like you
Are
always have to keep the relationship.
absolutely because it's all about relationships, no matter whether you're online, offline, or whatever line there is. It's all
Yes.
about relationships, really. Now, there was a point at which you got fired. Right? I have to laugh at this because I can't imagine anybody firing you, the little dynamite, unstoppable person. I mean, what happened there? You got fired.
We can always assume things, Lucy, right? What could
Right.
have happened, and we always assume sometimes quite worst things, right?
Mhm.
And I would say it was 2014. It was a small company. Interestingly, my boss' salary was lower than me. They really wanted me when they hired me.
Wow, they must have, yeah.
That, yeah, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but I think that phase of getting fired, they actually had already hired my replacement before, and I had trained that person, and then they said, "Hey, you're fired."
Oh my God. That was a blessing in disguise, right? Because
Yes. Oh
because
my
you did,
God.
and I love it because you said I decided I was too smart for hard labor,
Yeah.
and I started my online business in 2015, and then of course that was the beginning of the end, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah, my husband always say that statement is so harsh. I'm like, okay.
I love that statement. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's like, that is too much. I'm like, okay, I'm just keeping it. It's quite funny there.
I do think it's very funny. So
Because
you
I think as an entrepreneur, we all feel that statement. Don't you, Lucy?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I just love it
Yeah.
because you know our students or the members of our team, that's what they decided that you know
Hmm.
they didn't want to go back to a job that basically they may not have said I'm too smart for hard labor. I'm starting my own business. You know, because you know there's something greater than you than what you've been doing. You know, you're being called for something greater. You just know it. You know,
Hmm.
and so you move that way.
Yes, yeah, that was my path, like getting fired. It was an emotional, like
Yeah.
turbulence in my life. I went through my own emotional roller coaster, going in deep, 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 dark places where you feel like I am not good enough.
Good
I
enough.
can't, all that fun stuff, the imposter syndrome that shows up. So of course,
Absolutely.
I went through all that, and then I'm like, okay, that's it. And then I started reading Miracle Morning book by Hal Elrod, and I started doing Miracle Morning every morning. It's like it's an amazing book. Anyone who is like nervous, like the previous question, Lucy, or feeling like the darkest part of your life,
Hmm.
Miracle Morning, regardless of which you're entrepreneur, not entrepreneur, for your kids, for your wife, for everyone, this book is a miracle, totally. And I read that book and I started reading books every day. My first one was what was that? The 4 Hour Work Week, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, like all those books, like which are like business, like the first ones for every most of us. And I started exploring different things I can do. So first one was we started with our Amazon business.
Hmm.
For 5 years, we ran our Amazon business, physical product business, which was all furniture manufacture, furniture for selling furniture on Amazon, and then baby products. So I traveled. My husband traveled to China, India. We will design furniture and we will get it made in Jaipur, and those like it was all rustic furniture. Oh
Right.
my God, I'm again blinking here.
Yep.
Rustic furniture, and it was actually made from old temples in India, like all the old temples wood.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
yeah, very pretty. We did it for 5, 6 years, and then we also did apps for student in retention in engineering university. So I was meeting with different deans of the university.
Yeah.
So we were doing a lot of different things, and I did that from like 2014 to like 2021. And I was still work, and then I got a job full time again.
Again. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and
So,
that
so
full
what,
time job, yeah,
I want to know at what point then did Dean and Tony come into your life? I know it was 2019 because that's where I was. So, but
2019. Yep, same, same.
exactly. So how did Tony and Dean come into your life? Was it because you were reading so many books that everybody was reading? I mean, Think and Grow Rich and you know, I mean, there's so many books that
Yeah.
Tony would tell you to read also. So how did that happen for you?
So 2019, I actually attended an event, in-person event in Chicago,
Okay.
which is like 3 hours from where we were living, and that's when it was a Tony's event, in-person event.
Okay.
And during that time, Dean came at the end, and he spoke about KBB. So
Yeah.
I went to that event thinking, okay, I need to learn something new, marketing ways for my Amazon business.
Uh-huh.
And then I came out buying a KBB course, which was all around learning how to take your expertise and creating a business. I was like, what? Like, wow, I did that. I did that. So KBB I joined. And that's when I started meeting amazing people. I started exploring what is knowledge industry, what is all this
Right,
expert
exactly.
knowledge. I had 30 different niches when I started with.
30 different niches. I want my audience to listen very carefully. Priyanka started with 30 different niches.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy because they tell you, right? Write down everything you can think about from your experience that you can become expert on. And I was like, okay, like one of them was so funny. So I am not a confident cook, Lucy. So I was like, I will make a course on confident cook so that I become confident as I am teaching others.
Well,
It
that's
was so funny. And there was a lot of courses around motherhood because I was just stepping into motherhood.
mhm.
Um, like my daughter is 5 year old now, but I was just stepping into motherhood and all the challenges. I was
Right.
like, okay, I can relate to this. My audience who are at this stage can relate. So there were many different many different things. And then as I started doing podcasts, like so podcast came because 2019 November I attended UPW in person,
Okay.
and that's where, like you remember, I told you earlier that your why is what makes you cry.
Yes.
I
I
cried.
love that line. Your why is what makes you cry. That's a gorgeous line. I'm going to use
Yes,
that. May I?
yes, yes, yes,
Your why
totally.
is what makes you cry.
Yeah, and actually, I cried a lot in UPW
Did you?
when you go through that meditation with Tony.
Yeah.
Um,
Been through it.
and I was like, oh my God, I have to take action. I can't just live like this. He's like, in 10 years, if you're in the same place as
And,
today, how will you feel? Will you feel that you should have taken action? I'm like, oh my God, I was like, started like
right.
crying. And that's when I decided to start my podcast. And
You know,
20, yeah.
Priyanka, we do have a question here from Deborah McLean, who's with the Launch Lab, the Academy with us. She's her question says, "What podcast server are you using?"
So I believe you're asking the same thing. So I use Simplecast where I upload my podcast and it gets broadcasted to different channels.
Okay.
Different channels in the sense Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and I'm probably on 30 different channels, which I don't remember.
Did
But
you
yeah,
did you take a course? Did you take because I know I can't
I
remember his.
did. I did.
He was very famous for
Jamie
podcasting.
Atkinson. Jamie
Yes,
Atkinson.
yes, yes.
So yeah,
Because I
I
was
met.
taking his course.
Yes, so I met Rim Karbat from KBB. She
Okay.
started her podcast, and I was like so curious, like how she did it. One of the things we spoke about earlier, Lucy, like you were saying, hey, people ask for help. So I think one of the things as an ambitious woman or entrepreneur or business owner we are, sometimes it's hard for us to ask for help. And
Absolutely.
what I've found for my own journey, whenever I see a gap in me, I will go out and ask for help. So Rim was one of the person from KBB. I asked her, "Hey Rim, how are you able to launch your podcast? Amazing!" And she actually directed me to my podcast coach. I
Mhm.
launched my podcast in 28 days. I probably tried to quit every day because of all the work you have to put behind.
You know,
Because
I remember that time. I remember that time because I was following you and you said, "Thank God for my husband. I can do this." You kept saying, "Thank God for my husband."
because I was working full time as
I
an
know.
engineer,
Yeah.
and in the evenings I was like doing all the podcasts, and I launched it in 28 days, not 90 days. Normally they say it will take 90 days for you to launch
28
anything.
days.
28 days. It was so hard. It was so hard to put yourself out there, to be on camera, to be like do audio with this amazing, inspiring souls. Sometimes we can put people on pedestal, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And you feel small about yourself. So that was my that I was going through those things. I was going through a lot of things, and technical difficulties because you always have to learn new tech. Like now, if you ask me, my expertise is automation and operations and tech and everything, but for me every tech comes with challenge because you have to learn. But once you
Yeah.
learn one tech, it's very similar, other techs will work similarly. So I was like, oh my God, this is hard, this is hard, like creating a Canva graphic. I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it. And now I can do it in like 2 minutes. So it's so interesting, and I help my
Oh,
clients to
yeah.
launch like multi six figure launches in a week, and I will make Canva for them quickly, or like I give them a template to make it. So it's so interesting, Lucy, like whatever skill you're learning right now, how you're going to become effortless using it in few years and teach others, which is
Yes.
interesting.
You know, I was just listening to Russell Brunson. It was just yesterday, and he had Byron. I forget his name, but he said, you know, what you
Byron
have to,
Barron.
yes,
Yeah.
you have to master your skill. Do the skill until it's just like when you learn tie your shoes. Today, you don't even have to think about it. You tie your shoes; it has to be that automatic. And you just said it. You know, now it's easy for me because I can do it without thinking. That's what the message was yesterday. You know, mastery of the skill.
Hmm.
And how else are you going to do it? By repetition, repetition, which is the
Yeah.
mother and father of all skills. Oh my God. So,
Yeah.
mean, Unbelievable. So,
Yeah, it was a million, 28 days we launched it, and
but
it was
why
unbelievable
28
to see,
days?
like,
Why 28 days? I don't
because
understand.
he had like day one do this, day two do this, day three
Okay.
do this, day four. So in 28 days I launched it, and I was in top 60 on Apple. Top 60 on Apple with how many around 150 reviews in that 1 week,
Yeah.
around 750 to 1000 downloads in that 1 week.
Wow.
So 1 week or 2 days, something. I can't even remember the graphics, but I was like I was uh I was so impressed by my own result. It's
Wow.
like when you put yourself out there, when you're out of your comfort zone, you can do miracles. And people love authenticity. I was crying all the time on my social media. Guys, this is hard. I was giving a lot of behind the scenes during the whole time, and people
Yeah.
supported me. Like KVB, all the people who was in my mastermind, those 50 people, they
Yeah.
all supported me for my own podcast launch.
Wow.
Because I did that when I did those KBB masterminds, Lucy, if you remember, there was
Yeah.
nothing I was asking for. Like it was like there was nothing coming. Like I just wanted to serve.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you serve people, it comes 10 times to you.
Oh yeah, and so
Yeah.
everybody came. Everybody, yeah, I remember because your messages were out there, and I even had the techiness problem of trying to find it, but I mean, so it's not. But today, up until now, I mean, like you, I'm. Uh, what is it? The saying says, "Tech is the new devil," or something, or yeah, something like that.
Oh,
So
interesting.
so I know that you just received the India Woman Power Influencer Award, which was really awarded in 2021, right?
Hmm.
Now, how does that happen? You're in the United States. Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Yeah, so because I connect with others, and I'm always connecting with a lot of people on Facebook, and one of them was Bhavesh, and he's actually the co-founder of one of the institution in India. It's for women
Okay.
entrepreneurs. They have like 15 to 20,000 women entrepreneurs they are supporting in India
Wow.
uh, to grow and like to have all the resources, the VC, the investment, and all the venture capital. So we connected together, and he was like, you have to apply for this award, and he was the one who was
Absolutely.
co-founding it. He was the one who was arranging all the award. I applied for it. They had judges, they had many different categories.
Hmm.
It was all around women excellence awards in different categories, not only entrepreneurship but every different areas of women excellence. And it was for Indian women from all around the world, so I applied. Without, as I said, I just applied without even expecting that I will win. Um, and it was amazing. It was last year. Of course, I was not in India, I was in US. So my
Hmm.
parents actually went and received that award for me, and now they are here, so they gave me the award.
Oh, how
They
sweet.
brought the award with them, and I was able to hold it. It's a beautiful purple
Wonderful.
lady.
Hmm.
But it just feels amazing to be able to impact lives.
Absolutely. And
Uh,
that's what we're all about, really. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and they could see because I shared with them my whole timeline of how I'm able to impact the lives.
Right.
I have been on media which has reached 3 million people at one time.
Wow.
So it has been very different ways I have been able to help others. Because sometimes our impact we can't have like direct. Sometimes it's a ripple effect of them knowing someone else, right?
Hmm.
Our
Yeah.
impact has a ripple effect. It's not only that one person you're chatting or interacting with or working with will have impact. It's all the lives which are connected to them. So I feel like
Absolutely.
it's so beautiful. I feel like so blessed that that happened for me, because it just means I have more bigger responsibility.
Absolutely. So, so tell me, I mean, you have done so much. You're co-author of the book. How did that happen? The book, and that happened about 2 years ago, I think, right?
Yeah, it's so interesting. They were all from KBB, Lucy, all the Indian women. We all like we interact with each other, and Shoma is our publisher. She's amazing, and she was the like we just were. I never thought it was a dream for me to write a book. right? It's always a dream for me to write a book. And I was like, I will do it in next 10 years.
Yeah, right.
And then just the idea came. I think it was Cam or someone else who brought this idea. Hey, let's do this book. And 15 of us from all around the world. Like we have someone from Bali, from Australia, from England, from Canada, from Europe, from India, from US. We all of us came together and wrote a book called Wings of a Woman, where we all share our stories. My story is all about how I embodied the principle of intentional energetic presence to heal my relationship with my mother-in-law.
Oh,
And which is so I actually had to have my parents and my in-laws read the chapter before I could publish it. I had to
oh,
get their
of
permission because
course.
I had to tell this vulnerable story in a powerful and beautiful way, which respect everyone's opinion.
Absolutely. Oh my God, how wonderful is that? Oh
And
God.
I feel like that's a story which every Indian woman will relate.
Right. Right.
Because it was also inspired by one of my friend who is in India, and she was asking me, she's living within a joint family
Hmm.
with her in-laws, and she was struggling. So it was inspired by her because she was like calling me from there and asking for help, and she inspired me to write that story.
Wow. So, you can impact people's lives in so many ways. You just don't know. And the fact is, and I just want to repeat this, when you're open, the right people come to you, you know,
Mhm.
and you just have to be open to all the opportunities and not say no. You can't have that closed mind. You have to have that open mindset, that life is for me and not, it's life doesn't happen to us. It happens for us, which is what I hear Tony say all the time. So tell me, I mean, I'm so happy that you and Shika are going to be talking, because not only are you a mom, but you're both from India, you're both trailblazers, you're both visionaries. I'm so excited about this. And of course, I've just interviewed her, and I'm going to interview her next week in India. That's going to be so exciting.
Exciting.
So, but I want to ask you, what's next for you?
So, since leaving my corporate job, Lucy, like,
Mhm.
of course, podcast led me to start my own journey of being director of operations, chief operating officer. One of the things I knew, if I leave my corporate job, I
Right,
have to I have to take that experience with me
right,
to help others. And also, I wanted to make sure I am not impacting my lifestyle the way I love to give gifts. It's crazy, but I love to give gifts. I will not buy for myself, but I will love to give gifts.
that's
I
wonderful.
know, and I never expect gifts. It's just different. I just love to give gifts, and I love to like give them something which is super customized, which they will love it. And there's certain part of my lifestyle I have to make sure I have to make enough money so that
Right,
I can do all these things which makes me happy, which makes my people happy around me. It's not only gifts, but also cooking or whatever. It can
yeah,
be intangible. It doesn't have to be money oriented. But so I knew when I left my corporate job that I have to make similar kind of money. So that's why I started. Interestingly, I left my corporate job within 30 days. I started as a director of operation with a small business owner, like a woman entrepreneur.
right,
And I have been since serving like 6 different clients as their one-on-one chief operating officer.
okay,
And now I'm like, okay, I can only serve this many people as a one-on-one. So what is my next level? So our next level is going from one-to-one to many,
right.
which I teach inside Tony's program,
Do
but
you?
like applying it for myself, like
Right, right,
uh, but doing one-on-one is very important because then you get confidence in your own method,
right.
in your own transformation that you can bring. So now I'm going into one-to-one many, which is more about helping others to create a sustainable business by creating a well-oiled machine back end of their business. And I focus on leadership of them, like working with the CEO and
Hmm.
the team to create this positive team culture of continuous improvement.
Right,
Now the next piece is all about systems and structures. So I look into all their client facing structures and systems and internal business systems from project management, planning, communication. So helping them to create a business which is sustainable for longer run and they can scale from 6 figure to multi 6 figure to 7 figure to 8 figure.
Wow. So you went from 31 niches to now you know. And so I just want our audience to know that, it doesn't happen just overnight all of a sudden, just because you're taking the course and then in module 2, Dean says, okay, you got to find your niche, all he wants is for you to put it down on a paper because it's going to have a life of its own. Wouldn't you agree with that? I mean,
Yes, totally.
now I can ask you, Priyanka, who is your ideal client? Because now you know, right?
Totally. So my ideal client is heart driven and impact driven, and they come from my own experience serving my clients. There were two clients which I had to fire them because they were not my ideal client. So
Okay.
you will also experience those when you're serving your clients, like which clients you love, which clients you did not love. Make a list of this is the things I loved about each of them, this is the things I did not love, and then combine that list, and you will find your perfect client. And I have worked with my perfect clients before, so I have that definition. They are impact driven, heart centered. They're already making 250K gross revenue annually. They have at least one team member. So
Okay.
recently I helped a client to go from being stuck at 250K to 1 million in less than 10 months.
Wow.
And she went from a team of just her and a VA to a team of 8 now, which are helping her to scale. Because you can hustle and grind to reach your first six figure, Lucy.
Yeah.
But I think after your first six figure or multi six figure, you can't scale or grow your income until you have the system and structure in
Right.
your back
Exactly.
end and have a team to support you.
Exactly. A team is so important. At first, it's all muscle. it's,
Yes.
it's all muscle, and then as you go up the levels, then it's communication, and then it's openness, and it's like then
Yes.
it's creativity, and so but we have to start somewhere, and you did start, and you did go up the levels, and you are at the level where, but you started in 2015, and here we are 7 years later. I don't know why people think that, oh, you're in business online, you must be making money. It doesn't happen like that, does it?
Mhm. No. It's always that first sell which will give you that confidence
Yeah.
that what you're doing is right path. And sometimes it takes 6 months to see the results of your actions, so you
Right.
need to give time for any kind of marketing effect or any kind of new strategies you're adding to your business on how you will change. And as Lucy, you are saying, for me, I bring my own unique personality, unique experiences.
Right.
I'm also a leadership coach. I've coached around 300 students
Wow.
with 96% satisfaction rating when we did the survey. And they were all director of operations like me. So I bring my own experiences working as a director of operation and telling them how you should lead and be the right hand to your CEO and support them. Um, so it's amazing what different pieces I do in my own business. I'm multi-passionate. So it doesn't have to be one way, but all these small experiences like teaching inside Tony's and Dean Graziosi, like supporting students to start their business, or being a leadership coach, or doing my podcast, or helping CEOs to scale their business. Like all of them bring different unique experiences or
Right.
different things I need to combine when I do my own mastermind.
Right. Oh my God. So, well, I'm going to keep watching. I'm just, I'm always like, oh my God, look at her go.
And
That's,
you inspire me too, Lucy.
thank
I'm
you.
like, I want to be like you when I'm your age.
Oh my God. Well, I'll let you know what's happening in India. I mean, I'm looking so much forward to learning about your country. It's the first time I'm going to India, and my heart, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. So
Enjoy
I hope.
every bit of it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me know, Priyanka, if anybody in my group, because we do have some people who are just not beginners, but they're up there with their business. If anybody wanted to, you know what, I forgot to do this banner here. I have here, connect with Priyanka at her website, Scale Up with Priyanka. Your email is showupwithpriyanka, I love it, at gmail.com. And if you want to contact her on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's at Priyanka Kandal. Carr. Okay,
Good.
tell me what your last name is. It's
No, you did it good.
I did okay. I know I left my last name off because it becomes too difficult. So thank
It's
you.
amazing. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Lucy,
Thank you
for
very
this
much.
opportunity. And it was great to connect with you
It's
once
so great to
again.
connect with you too. And we're going to be keeping in touch for sure. Okay.
Yes.
All
And
right.
of course, like one thing that was missing, Lucy, there, my podcast. Find
Oh,
me. It's okay. My podcast is Show Up with Priyanka. Like I'm interviewing
oh, I
guests
have it
every.
there. Look. But it says show up with Priyanka. Oh, but
Oh,
that's Gmail. But your podcast is show up with Priyanka.
yes,
Okay.
so find me anywhere and listen to the amazing guests I have. Like they all are so inspiring, bring so many nuggets, helps you in your business. And also I have my own one-on-one. Sometimes I do teaching in there. And my book is Wings of a Woman, and you can get it as a Kindle or a paperback, but do get those free resources. And I do have one more thing, Lucy. Probably I will send you the link. It's a free gift. They
Oh,
can
how
just
wonderful.
opt in. It's just a workbook to like really, if you are ready to put system and structure in your business, like what is
Mhm.
the way. So it's a free workbook.
Wonderful. So send me all that information, and what I'll do is put all that information in a comment underneath our interview for our audience.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also I do a 5 days free workshop, Lucy. So I do every
Okay.
month. So there's one coming in November. But yeah, if you're ready to scale your business and you just want to know, okay, what are the things I need to know for my business to like have like be a legacy business? Like once you have your like it's mostly the things I go is into system structure and leadership, but it's always good to know what is out there for you, what you have to focus on. So that I'm doing every month, and next one is in November. So I will give you that link to Lucy, but you can
Thank you.
register
Thank you.
at scalingtogrow.com.
Okay, so now, folks, she doesn't let one little thing go by. I mean, that's what you have to do. All right.
Hmm.
So we will have all that information for my audience because you will send it to me and I will post it below the
Hmm.
interview. And I want to thank not just you, but also our audience for being here with us today. And if there are any questions, then they know now how to contact you. Okay. Thank
Totally.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, everyone.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.